we are outside the PIP Consultation Centre. The first to explain what personal independence payment is. It was an allowance brought in 2013 to simply directly replace Disability Living Allowance. But the political aim was really to reduce the amount of people who were eligible to go for DLA to PIP. Everybody that's been claiming Disability Living Allowance will have to go through an assessment that will be carried out in a centre like this. Just like with the ATOS that goes on with the ESA, even though now ATOS mainly does PIP. And that means that if you've been getting Disability Living Allowance, you're at risk of either your money being completely cut or losing an amount of it being dropped to a low level. Sometimes that can actually be devastating, more than just losing a bit of money, because the highest level of DLA mobility and similar in PIP will entitle a lot of people who would otherwise be housebound to a mobility car. But the way that these assessments have been going, a lot of people have been losing out on this access to a car and have not been able to afford another, with the result that they've ended up back housebound and not so independent, despite what is being called personal independence payment. It was also revealed that the plan of the government was to reduce the amount of people who were eligible for PIP to 20%. That would mean that you would have a 1 in 5 chance when you get your form through of not getting the new benefit, and it seems from the reports coming through you've got an even greater chance of having the amount of money that you get cut. So you can imagine the amount of anxiety this is causing to people who, don't forget, but even with the right-wing critics of the benefit system and those on it, these are the people who depend on the income. DLA is paid to people with a disability, and it can be paid even in a situation where they have other income or no income, or might be working, to help with the costs of the disability. And this is all at threat. It's a non-means tested benefit. So that's it. You come through to the PIP Consultation Centre here. Today in Tithburn Street in Liverpool, there's been a protest, and there was about, I think, maybe about 30 people. There's been speeches, there's been support and leaflets given out all about what this DLA into PIP is about. And another really scary thing is a lot of people were giving DLA on a lifetime reward. DLA was first introduced in 1992, so since then people who have been given a lifetime award have been considered to have problems serious enough that they should never be reassessed anyway, or come to anywhere like this, because their condition will last for life. You guessed it, with the personal independence payment, that's going to go, or has gone already for many people, and reassessments are brought in. It could be every 1 year, 3 year, or if you're very lucky, it could be 5 years, but often it's 1 or 3 years. That's just increasing the anxiety level of everybody that's depending on this benefit to survive, because when that letter comes through, you know that from then on you're subject to constant reassessments and visiting a place like this. No deal, you'll be cut. Most of the time, people with disability or sickness and disabilities income is a combination of ESA, which is the alternative to job seekers allowance, which pays a bit more, although I could explain a little bit about what the government has been doing, and DLA. And these ESA, of course, is continually reassessed. The longest period is, I think, about 3 years. It could be as short as 3 months or 6 months. So you've got disabled people who are not committing fraud, because the fraud level is actually very low. It's like 0.8%. It's that low. Are actually now living a life where they are just constantly reassessed and have the threat of failure all the time. And with ESA, there's 2 levels to it. So there's either work-related activity group or the support group. The support group means you won't have to get called into the job centre, but you will be subject to reassessment. But what they're doing to the work-related activity group, for people they deem perhaps not as serious enough with the support group, but often really mistakenly making that decision in many cases leading to appeals, is that they're reducing their money down for new claimants from next year, April 2017, to only the level of job seeker allowance, which is only £73 a week, which is subsistence income. So we're campaigning those days it's being forced to people who should just be allowed to survive in life. And DLA going to this so-called personal independence payment is a big part of it. Really want to see it made fairer, so that's it. That's it, we're in Tiff Street in Liverpool. It's a national day of action against PIP, and it's been a huge protest in London as well. Not so, but if I hadn't come a little bit late thanks to my micro SD card flying through, I could show you directly, but this one was quite large as well. 7